Yeah. At this time, I'd like to call the Garden Grove Housing Authority meeting together. With the secretary, please call the roll.
Commissioner Beckles,
Present.
Commissioner Broadwater,
Here.
Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Wynn, Commissioner O'Connor,
Here.
Vice Chair Dalton,
Here.
Chair Beard.
Here. Okay, the first matter is oral communications. Any oral communications of the Housing Authority? Seeing none. Item number 2, consent items, the status report as well as the minutes.
Move it.
Is there a second?
Second it.
Call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Public hearings, none. Items for consideration, none. And any matters from commissioners?
No.
Seeing none, we'll move to adjournment.
It was nice seeing you
Or
again.
adjourn.
It's over. Right. You take care. See you next time.
Okay. Be out of trouble.
You too.
I will. Good job.
Oh, you want the meeting date? Okay. Okay, I'll do that.
Doing?
One of those little seats. About, 7 feet.
That's why Mr. O'Connor loves this job. It's a problem with keep things for They're still not here.
Hey, did you hear who's running against me?
So we're set for.
Did you hear who's running against me?
No.
Your buddy. Same guy that ran against you. I hope he really spends some money this time. Cure him of this.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to call a Garden Grove City Council meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Councilmember Beard,
Here.
Councilmember Broadwater,
Here.
Councilmember Jones, Mayor Pro Tem Wynn, Mayor Dalton.
Here. Okay, we'll have the invocation by Susan Emery, Community Development Director, and the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Beard.
Dear God, we gather to make decisions for our community. May we use only our best skills and judgment, keeping ourselves impartial and neutral, as we consider the merits and pitfalls of each matter that is placed before us, and always act in accordance with what is best for our community and our fellow citizens. Amen.
Amen.
Please place the flag and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I see we have a presentation.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we are honoring 2 very special employees, and I'd like Susan Emery to make the presentation this evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. This evening, the Garden Grove City Council pays tribute to two employees who will soon be retiring after long distinguished careers with the City of Garden Grove. Would Dean Victoria and Gus Castellanos please come forward? We're going to give seniority a little merit here, and we'll start with Dean. Dean was born and raised in the Philippines. He graduated with his civil engineering degree in 1974 and obtained various structural design and project engineering jobs in the Philippines through 1981. Following that, Dean worked in Nigeria for 2 years as a construction project manager on a school building project. Dean then brought his wife Mimi and 3-year-old son Rod to America in 1984, accepting a job with the City of Santa Ana. Dean's career with the City of Garden Grove began in March 1987 as a plan check engineer. For 13 years, Dean served the community while honing his skills, and in 2010, he was promoted to the city's building official. Dean's attention to detail and his easygoing manner have made him an efficient and well-respected manager. He is well-liked by his staff and is invaluable to his director and the city manager for his work experience and knowledge. Dean and his wife Mimi have 3 grown children, Rod, Paul, and Katie. During retirement, Dean plans to spend more time with his family, take his wife traveling throughout the United States and Europe, and golf as often as possible. Dean, the City Council thanks you for your dedicated service to the Garden Grove community, and we wish you a long and healthy retirement. Our next honoree is Gus Castellanos, who began his employment with the City of Garden Grove as a part-time administrative intern in the Administrative Services Department way back in June of 1984. Shortly thereafter, a new division was established, and Gus was tasked with developing programs for the new community cable Channel 3A station. Despite not having programming experience, he conceived and produced a number of new programs, which in time included the national award-winning This Week in Garden Grove, or TWIG as it's come to be known. In 1986, Gus was promoted to senior administrative intern, and then in 1988, he was promoted to the full-time position of administrative analyst. TWIG hit the air in 1993, with Gus serving as the executive producer, a distinction he still holds today. Shortly thereafter, Gus was promoted to the position of cable production supervisor and then to his current position as division manager. Gus is a civic-minded person, as evidenced by his several community awards, including the 2000 Spirit in Action Award given by the Interfaith Council of Garden Grove, Stanton, and Westminster. He's also received accolades from Senator Joe Dunn, various assemblymen, and the Community Impact Award, which was awarded to him by Senator Lou Correa's office. Gus has been a longtime board member of the Garden Grove Boys and Girls Clubs and is a familiar face at most civic events, though usually he's hidden behind a camera. Following his retirement from the city, Gus will be serving as California's 47th Congressional District Director. He and his wife, Maria Alba, also hope to find the time to enjoy long-delayed travel opportunities. The city congratulates Gus on 28 years of dedicated service to the community of Garden Grove.
Take one more. 1, 2, 3.
Can we take one of each separately?
Yes,
Do you
you
want to
bet.
take it out of the box?
We can do it.
That's his first time he's
Take
seen
it out of
this.
the box.
Take it out of the box.
Looks much prettier out of the box.
Graduation, we don't actually do it.
1, 2, 3.
Now switch, because you're holding Gus's,
Oh, he is.
Will remain consistent.
How could you mess it up from here to there, Gus? You walked 3 feet.
You handed it to me.
1, 2, 3.
all right, you guys.
Would you like to say a few words?
Yes,
Please.
if I can find it.
Speak for 25 years from now.
I know. Mr. Mayor and members of City Council, I truly appreciate this, and I want to thank you all for this recognition. It has been an honor to work for the City of Garden Grove. I've been blessed to have worked with a great group of colleagues, and I thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I have 5 minutes?
I'm surprised you didn't put in a video.
I probably should have. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council and City staff, and of course the Garden Grove community, I want to thank you for those kind words. Coming from the professional staff that we have here with the City of Garden Grove, it was an honor to hear that. And I especially want to thank the Council for the capacity in which I was able to serve as your cable TV manager. I think it's one of the best jobs in the city. I was able to visit probably every Garden Grove school. I became familiar with every department, and more importantly, how those departments work together for the benefit of the city. I think Garden Grove is a special place. We probably all wouldn't be here in this room if we didn't find that at some level with this important exercise in civic affairs. The service clubs and organizations that we have here, the interfaith community, the cultural diversity, those aren't cliches to me. I lived that for 28 years, and I wouldn't trade any of them. I have some good news to report tonight as well. Our This Week in Garden Grove news program was nominated for another national award. We all know that shows now a casualty of the recession, but it served the city well for a long time, and it brought the city's message to Orange County as well as far beyond on our social networking sites. And it also served as a platform for training young journalists who are currently at work at affiliate stations across this country. We also received a nomination or honorable mention in the overall excellence category, and we also received a nomination in the promotional category for the work we did on the moving wall, the Traveling Vietnam War Memorial, which visited the city in October. And that was probably on my top 10 list of one of the best projects I've been able to work on at the City of Garden Grove. So I want to thank you again. It's been great serving this community, and I loved what I did. I enjoyed the people that I worked with, and I especially enjoyed who I did it for, which is the Garden Grove community. I'm not moving far away. As Susan mentioned, I'm going to be at Lewis and Lampson with Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez, so I do not have to give up my Starbucks at Euclid and Chapman. Mm-hmm. I do not have to give up lunch on Main Street, which I hope will make J.J. Elvis and Leo's Lackett happy and the rest of the proprietors there. And I want to thank you again for probably the best 28 years a guy could have hoped to have had working for the City of Garden Grove. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, at this time, we'll open communications for the Council, the Successor Agency, and the Sanitary District. Charles Mitchell.
I don't have a red suit.
But it looks good.
You have to earn that.
Step forward, ladies.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. Those of us standing before you are members of the 40 and 8. Our organization was founded in 1920 by members of the American Legion and subscribed to the same basic principles of service to our veterans and community. And these ladies are members of LaFemme, the auxiliary to our unit. The 40 and 8 is symbolic of the association with the Allies in France during the First World War. Our troops are transported to the front in boxcars that were labeled 40 hommes et 8 chevaux, which literally translates to 40 men and 8 horses. Now, our troops typically tried to find some humor in the most dire of circumstances, which is why the organization, with tongue-in-cheek, decided to use the French terms for a railroad system for its leadership and ceremonies. Our voiture, or boxcar, our unit, in other words, is led by our chef de gare, or station master. Throughout the year, we work in support of several programs. Among them are Americanism, child welfare, Boys State, nurses training, and Carville Star. The last refers to a hospital in Carville, Louisiana, that is working to find a cure for Hansen's disease, more commonly and erroneously called leprosy. Each year they publish a newsletter that is sent worldwide to developing nations to help them in fighting this dreaded disease. The pins that you see us wearing are what we sell to help fund these programs. At a recent meeting, we were pleased to award 2 checks totaling $750 from our voiture and La Femmes as a scholarship to a student nurse. Every year, our national organization sponsors an awards program in 3 categories: Police Officer of the Year, Hero of the Year, and City of the Year. The applications for all 3 were submitted, but we lost out on Police Officer and Hero. We did, however, receive the award for City of the Year for California. The award was earned by the outstanding efforts of our city in supporting employees who have been called to active duty. I'd like to thank our Chief Rainey and Lieutenant Nightingale for their assistance in putting together the application for these awards. We do wish to offer our appreciation to our Police Officer of the Year candidate, Victor Vaccaro, for his fine performance of his duties to our city. We also would like to applaud our Hero of the Year candidate, Alexander Ruiz, who risked his own safety in coming to the rescue of a Circle K employee. I will now turn over the microphone to our chef de gare, Oliver Taylor.
Thank you, Charlie. Mayor, members of the council, staff, first let me say how proud I am to present this award to my own hometown. To help me make this presentation to the city, I would like John Clark, the Director of Human Resources, to assist me in this reward. There are 3 parts to this presentation, Mr. Mayor, with your indulgence. We have the presentation of the City of the Year Award. We have a special accommodation for the members of the City Council and yourself, and then we have a little surprise for you. So let's do the presentation of City of the Year.
Award and Dina.
Thank you very much.
Like I said, Mr. Mayor, there is a appreciation award for you and the city council that I'm going to have Charlie do. Charlie was instrumental. It was his hard work and dedication that got the whole thing working. And he insisted that I get the paperwork submitted on time and followed up and make sure that we knew what was going on. So this is really the Charlie Mitchell Award to the city of Garden Grove. So Charlie, would you pass out the pins, and I'll give one to, that's one you.
Thank you. These are the Marvel Star pins.
Ah, nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles.
Quite a collection indeed.
Thank you, Charlie. Mr. Mayor, there is one more item of business I would like to bring to the council attention. I was recently notified that the city of Garden Grove was selected City of the Year for the United States. The Grand Director of Special Awards sent his congratulations and advised me that the city will be receiving notification and a special package. He would not share with me what's in the package. The Promenade Nationale, which is our grand convention, will be held September 11th through the 15th in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky. Past history shows that normally during the grand banquet, the award will be presented to the city, much as it was done in California. Additional details are forthcoming. Again, on behalf of the Orange Vulture 527, the La Femmes, Du California, and all Vultures of the 48, congratulations to the city of Garden Grove, National City of the Year.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Robin Macario.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, staff, and Garden Grove residents. I'm Robin Marcario, and I just wanted to make 3 brief comments. I respectfully request that the council agendize the OCTA 405 issue that will be coming up. It's with regards to improvements for the 405. Our 2 representatives would be Mayor Dalton from Garden Grove and Supervisor Wynn. The vote will be September 23rd. There are 3 options that are being presented. The first option is to add 1 general purpose lane. The second option is to add 2 general purpose lanes. And the third option is to take away our existing carpool lane and create 2 toll lanes. So in my humble opinion, I believe that option number 3 is disagreeable to say the least, and I would urge a vote from our council members to see where you stand on that. I'm sure staff would be thrilled to give you their updated version with all the details. There are many other cities that have verbally opposed the option number 3 to create these 2 toll roads for the 405. Huntington Beach, Costa Mesa, Fountain Valley, Rossmore, La Palma, and Seal Beach. I sincerely hope that Garden Grove will be added to that list in opposition to that. My personal opinion would be to add option number 2, which would give us 2 additional lanes. That's, in fact, what we had hoped for in approving the extension on Measure M, and I think it would be for the best general good for everyone. So that's my opinion on that. On the agenda in the journal, they brought up the issue to help subsidize the proposed water park, and that is to subsidize an additional $47 million to the developer for that water park. It was my understanding that we're dissolving the redevelopment agencies, and so giving this developer another $47 million doesn't really make a lot of sense, and I certainly wouldn't want our city to incur any kinds of penalties for violating those kinds of dissolution of the redevelopment agency. We're supposed to be in the process of paying down that debt, not incurring additional debt. The last and final comment I wanted to make was I had the pleasure of going to our Atlantis Park, which is there right across from Bolsa Grande High School. And Councilmember Jones, you were the one that kind of got the ball rolling with the splash pad. And to go there and actually see the kids playing in that, it's really fabulous. It's a great value. I saw lots of daycares going there with kids for summer, and it's a great price at $1. So anybody that hasn't been there to see the splash pad at Atlantis, please go to see it. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you. Rod Powell.
Hi, my name is Rod Powell. I was going to talk about a couple of things different than what I was going to talk about, so I'm not, prepared with what I'm going to say, but I was watching the 6 o'clock news tonight, and I assume that you probably didn't, as you were probably here, and the first thing they had out the gate was that in L.A., they voted to ban all dispensaries for medical marijuana dispensaries. So it can be done. That's the point. That's why I'm bringing that up. A city council that is strong as individuals will make a decision and act on it, not just say, I can't, I'm stymied, we can't do nothing. That's a bunch of malarkey, because they just showed that you can. Don't mean to be putting it so strong and come off as rude, but I don't know any other way to put it. They did state that they're going to follow that up with a little, I don't know what you call it, substitution motion that probably would pass, allowing just a few out of the hundreds of marijuana dispensaries they had to reopen under strict guidelines. So it's not a complete wipeout for the medical marijuana dispensaries. So there are things that can be done. Just I wanted to bring that up. I wasn't even going to speak about that until I saw that on the news. I was going to speak briefly about fireworks. Fortunately, nobody this year that I know of in this city was even injured. I don't know. I didn't hear anything on the news. I did watch the news. I guess I watched the news a lot. And they were talking about in San Bernardino, they had someone on there, and he was talking about how many dogs were lost that were in pounds and never go back to their owners. That they're just lost. They're gone forever. They're going to get euthanized ultimately. And I thought how sad that is. That all those pets, literally, that were people's pets, are just gone. And I'm sure you could say, yeah, they could have put one of those chips on, or there's things that. But why should they? Why should people, isn't it a heavy price to pay just for a small amount of people to do fireworks, to have seniors? David Ville used to come in here speak on behalf of seniors. That was his focus. And it truly is, as I get older, and I believe that especially the seniors that I've spoken about this topic with, it decreases their quality of life just knowing that around the 4th of July, they're going to have to go through that. It's something that's on their mind way ahead of the 4th of July. And why should we have to look forward to that? Why? And the young people, you know what their answer is? It's some crass comment about what you can do with your dog, and some crass comment about what these seniors can do with themselves. That's their crass answer and disrespectful demeanor toward seniors and towards pet owners. So I guess that's enough to say about that. As far as our city council, I wish that we had a city council that did not handpick people that become on this council. Obviously, we've got two people that originally were appointees and not originally elected to their positions. And how long is this going to go on where we don't, in my opinion, pick the most qualified person, and it seems that we pick someone for our own political benefit, one way or the or other benefit. You know, they're going to vote the way you want. They're going to be not your competition at the next election. I think the citizenry needs to know, and I know that some of them watch this not a lot, but there's enough that watch this show on Channel 3, and I wish they would pass the word around that they'd like to be the ones that vote for someone to get in on these seats. And because, well, anyways, I don't know the because, but I think it would be the best way that it could be. Thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you. Okay, I'll close oral communications and recess the council. Well, Mr. Broadwater, do you have a comment?
Yeah, there's a couple of comments I'd like to make. First of all, the city of Los Angeles did exactly what Roger said they would do. Now let's see them enforce it, because anybody can vote anything in. Enforcing that, no marijuana, will be fun to watch, because you're going to see people picketing in the streets and all kinds of stuff, and all kinds of lawyers in courts and everything else. And a lot of people like to have their community spend their money in court rather than spending it on parks and splash pads. I would rather spend it on splash pads. Mr. Jones, I didn't know you were the only one involved in the splash pad, but thank you very much. Actually, that's a little history there. Janet Wynn offered us the money for the splash pad and then took the money back. And the 5 people on the city council at that time voted unanimously. No, I guess there was one guy that voted against it at the time. Well, there were 4-1 to vote to go forward with the splash pad, so we did it without Janet. Fireworks. If we were to deny all fireworks in the city of Garden Grove, there would be immediately an initiative passed and money to be signed, to pay people to sign it, to put fireworks back together again. We have limited amount of fireworks that we sell in the city. We have limitations on it, and even that would go out the window if we completely did away with fireworks, because they would have that initiative, and no doubt about in my mind that initiative would pass the citizens, and we'd be back with more fireworks than we've ever had in the past. I think I've said enough.
Anybody else have a comment?
Not related to that, just a quick comment. Thank Mr. Mitchell for all his work.
Yeah.
The American Legion, thank you so much for the award.
Okay, at this time, we'll recess the council and go to the successor agency.
Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Member Broadwater?
Here.
Member Dalton?
Here.
Member Wynn?
Here.
Vice Chair Beard?
Here.
Chair Jones?
Here. Welcome to the July 24th session of the Successor Agency. We already did oral communications in conjunction with City Council, so we'll go to consent items, just the warrants.
Move it.
Second.
Call to vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
We have no public hearings. We'll go to items for consideration 4A.
Mr. Chairman, items 4A and 4B will be rescheduled for a meeting of July 31st. We did not receive the forms from the Department of Finance yet to take action on these items, and so once we have those, we'll again reschedule them for July 31st.
Is that for both?
Both items, A and B. Yes.
Any matters? Okay, seeing none, we will adjourn the Successor Agency to next Tuesday, July 31st at 5:30.
Okay, at this time, we'll convene the Sanitary District. Madam Clerk, would you please? Madam Clerk, would you please acknowledge that Mr. Broadwater will handle this?
I was going to let him do it again. Show everybody here. We don't need a call roll again. Everybody's here. We've had oral communications. Consent items, we have the minutes. Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Call for the vote. We have no public hearings. We have no items for consideration.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
We have no public hearings, no items for consideration. Matters from board members. Anybody have anything? Hearing none, we will adjourn till August 28th at 6:30 p.m.
Okay, we'll reconvene the council and let the record show that all members are present, and go to consent items.
Mr. Mayor, it's recommended that items 4A through 4I be acted on simultaneously unless a separate discussion or motion is requested by a member.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have motion and second. Call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Okay, ordinances presented for second reading.
Mr. Mayor, that's ordinance number 2818, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Garden Grove approving Plan Unit Development Number PUD 10576, Revision 12, amending Plan Unit Development Number PUD 10576 to allow limited live entertainment for eating establishments that have ground floor storefronts facing Valley View Street with a minimum floor area of 5,000 square feet and a minimum distance of 150 feet away from a residential property boundary or any property containing a residential use, subject to a conditional use permit approval. Put it on shorter.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Move adoption.
Second. Have a motion, a second. Call for the vote.
It didn't register, Councilmember Broadwater. Your vote. Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Okay, matters. Mr. Broadwater.
I have a couple of things I want to say this evening. First of all, I requested the Public Works people to make a sign out at the end of Lamson Avenue, a traffic signal, blink red, red, red. So everybody had to stop there. You got about 3/4 of a mile stretch coming out of Seal Beach where you have these green lights, and then you can see the green light at Manly and, well, not Manly, I forget the name of the street, but right there at the beginning of Garden Grove. And that's where we've had several deaths in the past. And I just thought that a blinking red light, it wasn't my idea to start with it, but several people out there contacted me about it. And I went out there and looked at it and looked through it, and I thought, well, the blinking red light, you will see that blinking red light coming out of Seal Beach, even no matter how many green lights there are in Seal Beach. And you know you're going to have to stop. And so the young man that got killed out there several weeks ago, witnesses said he was doing 70, 90 miles an hour coming down that stretch. It's really a dangerous little curve there. Not much of a curve, but it just comes out of nowhere on you. And so I thought until we really come up with a final solution, that keeping it blinking red stopped everybody, and you were able to see that. Now, several people called the city manager, and nobody called me about it. Well, one guy did call me about it. I don't remember his name, but he was very upset that we put that light in blinking red. And his argument was that the city of Garden Grove goes too far. We shouldn't be protecting people that are speeding. And he says sometimes government shouldn't be involved at all. I said, well, we can take out the traffic signal. He wasn't too thrilled with that idea either. But the truth of the matter is I have a thing that I did not request. I was not even involved in it. But we have changed light back. And I have 77 signatures here from the west side of town would say that they would like to have that light changed back blinking red till we come up with a solution for that corner. So I just let the city manager aware that it wasn't 3 people, it was 77 people. Maybe it's more than that, I don't know. I didn't count them straight. So anyway, I'd just like to bring that up. I'd like to put that on the agenda for August the 28th, see if we can't have something. I'd like to see the red light go back on, but I don't always get what I like. Tonight, we received from the district attorney's office several months back, a group of people from the city went to the district attorney's office and said that there were 3 people on the city council that had violated the Brown Act. They had all kinds of reasons why they violated it, and some of them were figment of their imagination, but others were just come out to be nonsense. But we have a letter here from the district attorney's office saying that there were no violations of the Brown Act, saying that there was nothing done wrong, and it's about 12 paragraphs. He took some time to address this letter. So it's very good, and it comes out in the end. After a thorough review of the report and additional material submitted, and after conducting additional legal research, we are of the opinion that there is no evidence of any wrongdoing committed in connection with this complaint by the Garden Grove City Council, any individual members thereof, city attorney, or the city manager. Accordingly, we are closing our inquiry in this matter and will not be taking up any further action. Should you have any questions, refer to him. And that is signed by Senior Deputy District Attorney Raymond Armstrong. So I want to congratulate the 3 of you that had to go up because somebody else just couldn't see anything their way. And I think this council is a great council. And I think the people that were turned in for a bunch of nonsense had to go through a couple of months of not knowing what was going to happen. And nothing did happen. There has been no violation of the Brown Act. There never was a violation of the Brown Act. And last but not least, I want to just mention that 3-month street rehabilitation projects are going on. Westminster Avenue from Bouchard to Brookhurst Street, Brookhurst Street from Hazard to Westminster Avenue, and Chapman Avenue from 9th Street to West Street, and then the Trask Avenue from Harbor Boulevard to the 22 freeway. All of them are already have construction crews on them and everything else, and they're moving. It's a good place to see if you can circumvent them when you're traveling, because they are going to be ripped up from one end to the other for the next 2 or 3 months. Thank you very much.
Ms. Nguyen.
Thank you. Just want to say happy birthday to Mrs. Broadwater, Peggy. She's one of my favorite citizens. And I hope she have a good night. We're going to get out early so she can celebrate with Mr. Broadwater. Also, remember to buy in Garden Grove. There's no holidays pending, but it's summer, so there's a lot of places you can take your kids to, grandkids, and maybe just each other if you don't have grandkids or grandparents. I wanted to say that I visited a lot of businesses over the last month, and I think our businesses are picking up a lot of momentums, and I hope they will do well. If they need anything, if you own a business and you need information, you need help, contact the city, see if we can help you. And if you need to see me or any of the council, you can always call Secretary Pam Haddad. Her number is 714-741-5103. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jones.
Thanks. I'd just like to make a couple comments about the splash pad and some other related items. Thanks to Robin for insinuating that one was my pet project. I think I probably got that just because I have a couple young boys, and so I was probably the most enthusiastic of the bunch to see that come about. So
I think I saw you sliding down.
Well, maybe I got in there myself a little bit, too. But my wife says she has 3 boys, so I'm the big boy. But no, to give fair credit where credit is due, rewind several years ago, our staff, Kim Hoy and her staff, did a study on our open space around town, including the parks, including open space properties at the schools, and what they came up with was that we're not under-parked if you look at the amount of park acreage relative to the residential population we have, but we're under amenities, so we don't have enough ball fields, we don't have enough lights, we don't have enough splash pads and skate parks and neat things like that. And I think we've collectively have made a proactive effort in the last several years to go dig and find money and find ways to do that. So Supervisor Janet Nguyen has certainly helped, maybe not on the splash pad project, but she brought a dog park and other things. We've got senior equipment in other parks. Thanks to a lot of effort from Dina, we have a skate park now and possibly others that are going to be opening. Hopefully we'll see an expansion of that splash pad at Atlantis Park. There's a natural expansion to the other side of the sidewalk there, right where it's at. Hopefully we'll see more of those in other parks. So I'd love to see that trend continue on with to the extent we can find money or create money in our parks funds to keep adding things like that to our open space around town.
Okay, Mr. Beard.
Yeah, well, with all the amenities of Parks and Recreation, I want to remind people we're in the midst of summer, and with that, we still have signups available for some of our recreation programs, be it swimming and day camp. So if you're out there and you want to check out the website and you're looking for something for the young people to do, go to it, and there's still time for signups for some of our summer programs. I want to wish Councilmember Broadwater's wife, Peggy, a happy birthday, and hope everybody's having a good summer, and have a safe summer, too. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nguyen, you had another comment?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot one item. You usually have the Garden Grove Summer Concert, but this year, in place of it, the Recreation Department has a Voice of Garden Grove concert, and I'm sorry I don't have the exact time for that, but a lot of our young people had signed up for that, and they will be performing in Garden Grove. So if you need the time for the concert, you can visit our front desk, Recreation Department, and get the schedule for that. And I believe we have a lot of talents in Garden Grove that we need to support and go out there and enjoy all the talents. Thank you.
Thank you. One thing I wanted to mention that at 8 a.m. on Sunday, July 29th, there's a Neighborhood Improvement Day occurring in the area of Woodbury Park. The committee that was put together to identify areas that needed a little help identified the neighborhood surrounding Woodbury Park as an area that a high volume of code enforcement complaints, along with a high volume of police-related calls for service. Specifically, this neighborhood is a single-family residence area between Euclid and New Hope, south of the 22 freeway. The city staff held a meeting with the residents and put together a program that will involve people, and you're certainly welcome to come out if you want, at 8 a.m. Sunday, July 29th at Woodbury Park. Right now, there's approximately 250 volunteers that will be in attendance from Living Springs Christian Fellowship Church and the Islamic Society of Orange County. These volunteers have selected homes in the neighborhood target area where they will help with exterior repairs, painting, landscaping, etc. And additionally, any volunteers that are available can help repaint the fence at Woodbury Park, too. That'll save us a couple of bucks. Representatives from Home Depot will also be present at the park conducting home improvement seminars, and they've also donated materials to assist in this project. I think it's a very worthwhile project, and hopefully, if we're successful at this, we can expand it a little bit in some of the other areas that are a little bit tired in our city. So any of you, again, that's Sunday, July 29th, 8 a.m. at Woodbury Park. At this time, I'll adjourn this meeting until July 31st, 5:30 p.m. in the City Council chambers. Thank you.